What's going on YouTube? It's Ben, and in this video, we're going to talk about recruiting trends for 2020. What is going on YouTube? I'm Ben, and if you're brand new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. I talk about entrepreneurship, business, recruiting, pretty much everything in between. If you like that kind of stuff, this is definitely the channel for you, so I would definitely hit that sub button. Let's get into the video. So since we're headed slowly into 2020, I thought that I would make a video on the recruiting changes and coming trends for the new year, as I think most of you should be aware of them, and I think they're pretty important. So whether you're already recruiting and placing candidates, or you're just getting your feet wet and just checking out this business, or you have no clue what recruiting is, I think that each and every bit of this video is going to be helpful to you, and I'm adding a lot of value by talking about what the trends are and how they may affect your recruiting business and your recruiting practices throughout the year 2020 and actually beyond. So first things first, don't get me wrong, a lot of the trends and new things that are going to be happening in 2020 are things that we're actually already seeing happen right now. So a perfect example of one of these trends would be video. So video has begun a slow rollout overall, probably over the course of 2019 and a little bit into 2018, but it is most definitely poised to be a very, very strong mainstay as far as what we do through email, text messages, or even our basic phone calls. Absolutely do not be surprised when you get inundated with marketing emails and Facebook ads about video messaging platforms with awesome open and response rates and things of that nature in 2020. I mean, I gotta be honest, video is simple and it's effective, so I can totally see why it's gonna be a mainstay going into 2020 as a new trend. I mean, I have already heard of plenty of recruiters utilizing video just to message people, whether it's on the client side or the candidate side, just sending someone a message saying, hey, this is Ben, saw your profile, thought of you for an awesome role that I've got open and would love to chat. People see that as more intimate and close, and apparently people swear by it. They're getting really, really good results, and I totally believe them. The thing is, as we become more digitally interactive as a society, things like Snapchat, WhatsApp, whatever it might be that you use, those things are going to creep their way into the business world and recruitment as a norm. Meaning it'll be normal for you to send a Snapchat to your friend, just like it's normal for you to send a voice or video message or something like that to a candidate or talk to a client in that fashion. You can pretty much do just about anything with video, including video calls, video interviewing, video messaging, video anything, and therefore it just is simple, and simplicity always wins. So I think video is definitely going to be here to stay. It's a 2020 staple for sure. You can check that one off on your list. So naturally, the next item I want to talk about is video's little brother, which is voice. Just to be crystal clear on this, I'm not talking about phone calls, I'm talking about voice messaging. So voice has been and always will be and definitely will continue to be a huge element in recruitment and in business overall. So being that it's video's little brother, it's basically just slightly less intimidating than sending someone, a video message that you have never talked to before. It's slightly less intimidating, but it's practically just as effective. Let's put it this way. Everybody knows how easier it is to send somebody a voice message over Facebook or on your phone if you have something long to say. And to that point, everyone knows that using the voice to text feature on your phone, like if you're being bad and driving while texting, is a really, really good way to simply get your message out without having to look at the keyboard and use your fingers. And it's just simple. And like I said, simple always wins. Now, obviously, I can't predict the exact numbers, but I can say that 70% of communications in recruitment will probably be conducted via voice messaging, whether it's on WhatsApp or directly through LinkedIn or some other fashion. You're going to be using your voice a whole lot more than your fingers typing on a keyboard. Because let's face it, Who wants to use your fingers on a keyboard when you can just talk? Going into 2020, software automation tools are going to be your best friend as a recruiter. Just think about it like this. Why would you sit on Facebook and respond to Facebook messages that come in for your business instead of just setting up a chat bot? Why would you send out manual follow-up emails when you can simply create the follow-up emails, set them to send out every few weeks, and let the machine do the work? Now, to bring it all home, why would you spend hours and hours on LinkedIn trying to connect with the right decision makers when there are literally right now Chrome extensions and other automation software that have robots that can run this for you, literally connecting with the decision makers, sending them a note, sending them an email, whatever you want them to do. Honestly, I could go on and on and on about automation software and all sorts of tools, and I will in another video, but I guarantee that software automation for recruitment is going to be your best friend in 2020, almost 100%. Now let's talk about the really cool things that we can only imagine right now that we don't know about yet that are going to be out in 2020 and beyond that people are creating as we speak. For example, somebody out there somewhere is creating the Tinder for recruiting. Really smart people are out there developing new tools and software that simplify the process and streamline everything into the most simple, get to the point manner that we can't even imagine at this point right now. How about social scoring? Look, I have absolutely no idea how this will look or in what form it will come, but I 100% believe that in some form or fashion, just like China, America will have some form of social score that can be incorporated into business and recruitment and help a ton of recruiters out identifying, a bad candidate versus a good candidate, or their credentials, or whatever it is based on other things like big data and all sorts of factors. That leads me directly to my next huge paradigm shift for 2020, big data. Look, we already know that big data is exactly that. It's big, like really big. My questions are, how is it going to be used? How are we going to take that big data, harness it, inject it into software and tools and automation and all sorts of things that people create so that we can get the best efficiency and streamlined processes out of it possible that we can have in 2020? And I believe people are developing that stuff right now. For instance, reference checks could be totally obsolete in 2020. We could just gather a bunch of factors from their big data and say, hey, this candidate scores at this level and we don't want to talk to him. That could become a thing. Obviously, we have equal opportunity laws when hiring, but we don't know exactly how these things will come out and in what fashion or form they'll be existing. Remote work and work from home? Yep, that's here to stay. Work from home capability has been growing and growing probably for the past 10 years or so, and in 2020 it is most definitely going to be a complete mainstay. Candidates are regularly asking in interviews about work from home and remote work capability, and rightfully so, because it's fair. And remote work has actually proven to be super effective for the employee. Our society is just so loud and crowded, and people are commuting 45 minutes one way, 45 minutes the other way. That's not even including the time that they take to get ready for work in the morning, any time they take to de-stress and debrief right after they get off at 5 o'clock. They've barely got any time to do anything. Work from home simply just makes sense. It's been a growing trend, and I truly believe it'll be something that's seriously a standard in 2020. Basically, the tools, trends, and systems that are going to be in recruiting for 2020 remain to be seen. They're unimaginable at this point. We know a little bit, but we don't know the bigger portion of what's to come. And that's just fine. But there are so many things that are going to come out that are going to streamline things for recruiters, that are going to help recruiters. And so the next point I want to make is that this is not a bad thing. Automation, having tools and big data and software, this is not a bad thing for your position. So one thing I want to make super clear to you is that your position as a recruiter is not going anywhere anytime soon whatsoever. In fact, I really welcome all of these new technologies and tools and automation softwares and things because Honestly, there's nothing that can replace the human element in recruiting, so all of these tools and all of these new trends are simply going to be add-ons that will help the recruiter to make, better decisions, faster decisions, and ultimately create a streamlined process that will help them out. Any technology or tool or system that makes my job easier is something that I'm a fan of. And so I'm personally really, really excited to see what's to come in 2020 that I already don't know about. And I'm hopeful, and I think that things are going to be great, and I think they'll be streamlined, and a lot of really good things will come out of 2020 for recruiting. So ultimately, my advice to you is to just strengthen your knowledge as a recruiter and to just roll with the trends as they come in 2020. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe. Hit the alert button so you know every single time I come out with a new video, which is basically daily. So I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. Until then.